Hey friends, hey friends, hey friends, hey friends. Welcome back to the Daily Dose. We're coming at you for another wonderful day of Bible reading. What day do we have today? We have got day number 155. So what we're going to be looking at today is, again, continuing in the book of Proverbs. We're going to be going over chapters 7 through chapter 9. And we also have Psalm 150 today. So let's jump right in. The first section today starts off with a warning against the adulterous woman. We've been seeing quite a bit of that talked about so far in the book of Proverbs. Starting with verse 21 here, it says, "With persuasive words she led him astray. She seduced him with her smooth talk. All at once he followed her, like an ox going to the slaughter, like a deer stepping into a noose." Ooh, that's sounds like somebody walking into a trap, right? It's talking about all at once when this guy saw this woman, he just followed her. Just didn't even think about anything. It was just his natural instinct. He just started walking along following her, right? Just like an ox going to the slaughter. Like when you take a cow or an ox and you're taking them to be slaughtered, they have no idea what's about to happen. They think everything is good for the most part, right? They're just walking along, going into the slaughterhouse, and they don't know where they are or what's happening until it's too late. That's kind of the picture that I get here, right? Or like a deer stepping into a noose. So they would lay these kind of noose traps. You think about a noose that someone might be hung with, but they would also make these nooses in a similar way that would lay down on the ground. And an animal would step in that, and it would set off a trap. The noose would tighten around the animal's leg, and then the animal couldn't get away, right? So it's like a deer that is just going about its normal day, doing what it's always done, going grazing, doing whatever, and it steps in a noose and has no idea the amount of danger that it's in as soon as that trap goes off, right? And then it talks about until an arrow pierces his liver, the deer. Until the deer gets that arrow, he doesn't even really understand the danger that he's in. Like a bird darting into a snare, little knowing it will cost him his life. Now then, my sons, listen to me. Pay attention to what I say. Do not let your heart turn to her ways or stray into her paths. Many are the victims she has brought down. Her slain are a mighty throng. Her house is a highway to the grave, leading down to the chambers of death. That's saying something, right? That is saying something. And you know what? This, excuse me, this adulterous woman that is being talked about here, right? I think that that's probably kind of a use of personification, turning a man's lustful temptations, turning those onto lust. You know, it's almost like this adulterous woman is kind of a personification of lust and temptation, sensual temptation, right? And I think that in our present day, with the widespread availability of inappropriate sexual material on the internet and in magazines and videos and everywhere else, I think that this topic is extremely appropriate. And I think it could be very, very well applied to the topic of pornography as well. These words that Solomon are saying. Like if you replace the woman or the adultery with pornography, the exact same thing holds true, right? If we go back and say, now then, my sons, listen to me. Pay attention to what I say. Do not let your heart turn towards pornography or stray into its path, right? The same concept applies. Moving on, the next section is titled Wisdom's Call in my Bible. And starting at verse 4 of the next chapter, it says, "To you, O people, I call out. I raise my voice to all mankind. You who are simple, gain prudence. You who are foolish, set your hearts on it. Listen, for I have trustworthy things to say. I open my lips to speak what is right. My mouth speaks what is true. For my lips detest wickedness. All the words of my mouth are just. None of them is crooked or perverse. To the discerning, all of them are right. They are upright to those who have found knowledge. Choose my instruction instead of silver, knowledge rather than choice gold." Again, talking about how valuable and important wisdom is and knowledge, right? It's saying, look, choose wisdom's instruction. Choose wisdom over silver. Choose knowledge over gold. For wisdom is more precious than rubies, and nothing you desire can compare with her. Again, the personification of wisdom, making wisdom out to be like a woman. And it's saying, wisdom is more precious than rubies, and nothing you desire can compare with wisdom. That's something coming from one of the wisest men, right? Definitely something. Then moving on into this last section for today, it says invitations of wisdom and folly. So here it says, folly is an unruly woman. She is simple and knows nothing. Again, the personification of this idea or concept of folly, foolishness. She sits at the door of her house on a seat at the highest point of the city, calling out to those who pass by, who go straight on their way. Let all who are simple come to my house. To those who have no sense, she says, stolen water is sweet, food eaten in secret is delicious. But little do they know, the dead are there, that her guests are deep in the realm of the dead. Again, words of warning about foolishness and about folly coming from Solomon. So we'll close off with that for today. I appreciate y'all being here, and until we meet again, deuces.